Well, it's Friday morning. It's time for another episode of the About Mansfield Consumer Advice Series. I'm Steve Casillo. Appreciate you being here today. And as always, we do on Friday mornings, he's no longer over my left shoulder. He's right in front of my left shoulder. In the brand new About Mansfield studio is Phillip Washington Jr. Say hello to the audience.
I'm here.
Hello, audience.
Hello, audience.
And as we always do, we call him the financial philosopher because he gets a little deep into the psyche, and today is another one of those days. We are going to get deep into the psyche of how to be a patient investor. And you were talking about this earlier today on your podcast, Wealth Building Made Simple. And so what I got out of it as I was reading my notes, number one is when you don't have patience, it has to do with resistance.
Yep.
And really, once you go into that and talk about the resistance.
Resistance. Resistant is thought that has doubt. So an example might be, and doubt can be like negative energy. So resistance can be, hey, I want to get to this destination, but I'm not sure. Here's a simpler way to explain it. So like we all use Waze to get to different places.
That's so funny because I was just thinking about that. Waze tells you to take an off ramp and take this little side road, and you're resisting. You're going, no, it's faster to stay on the freeway.
Right, and different people have different levels of resistance to Waze, right? So I feel like all of us earlier on when we had that type of technology, we resisted whether it would take us to the right direction or not. But as we used it more and more, and it proved itself to get us to where we wanted to go, we became more comfortable. And the result is now, like most of us use Waze, and it gets us there with less stress, less effort, and no resistance. So resistance is what causes things to slow down, and or for us to go in the wrong direction, or to not reach our destination if we just choose to not believe in maps at all, right? And so that's what resistance is.
There was a day when you actually would go from town to town and stop at the local gas station and pick up a map, and you had to trust in the map, and that would get you from that town to the next town and stop at the gas station, and pick up another map. You're probably too young to remember this.
Believe it or not, like when I first, I sold I did door-to-door sales for like a painting business in college. So this was like between 2002 2006, and I had to buy those maps. I was selling in San Antonio, so it was one map for the city. But I had to learn how to use those maps. So and then when I first got started in this business in 2006, we didn't have, or I wasn't using Google Maps yet, so I had to do print out my MapQuest, and then had to have like 3 or 4 of them because I had 3 or 4 meetings and different MapQuests. So,
I know we're kind of digressing here, but real quick story. When my family and I moved out to Texas from California in 2004, we literally printed a MapQuest because we didn't have smartphones with GPS and definitely did not have vehicles with GPS. And so we literally had about a 30-page print from how to get from San Diego to Phoenix, to Albuquerque, to Lubbock, to Mansfield. And there were a couple times we got lost.
But it wasn't that long ago either, right? Crazy.
So let's take this roadmap back to financial and patience, and how if you are the type of person who says, I want it now, I need it now, how do you develop patience when it becomes in regard to being an investor?
We all trusted Google's algorithm because it was the most trusted, right? Google owns Waze, just for those who don't know. But Google Maps and Waze has the best, algorithm. Although Apple stepped this game up, they were kind of weak in the beginning. But what you want to make and the algorithm is very similar to like, it's an if-then statement. Like it's a principle, right? Code is not based on human whims, right? Like it's not, it's not the guy that would say, hey, I need directions over here. All right, pass this way, go to this tree, turn left over here, right? It's an algorithm built on like objective data.
Sure.
And so when you invest, think about an algorithm like a principle, right? But the cool part about investing is you can actually build like an investment strategy built on time-tested universal principles, because universal principles are like flawless. Algorithms has flaws because they're built by humans, but universal principles are flawless, right? Faith, patience, discipline, right? Life and death cycles of economies, the generational economies that are built every 20, 30 years. You can go look at it throughout history and find the principles. So a principle of investing that's foundational to the portfolios that I manage, and I'm gonna get to it's important later so I can answer the question, is diversification works to protect your money, and humans evolve. So diversification, if you say, I don't want to lose all my money, spread it out.
Yeah.
And then human beings evolve. Like evolution is built into the experience of life, literally, right? I mean, so we evolve and we continue to evolve. So if you diversify, you spread your money out, and you're betting on, all the generations, right? The innovative new generation, and then the stable old generation, and your portfolio mirrors that, right? Then you've built it as best as you can based on universal principles. So what it means is you can trust the algorithm to get you where you need it to go, right? Meaning like if you follow the plan, you're already rich. Again, nothing's guaranteed, blah, blah, blah. But I'm saying like you've done everything you can on possible to get there. So now all you gotta do is just enjoy the ride, right? Meaning trust the algorithm, right? Said a different way, like trust the algorithm. Don't be like we were earlier when we fell in love with like GPS systems, or when we first were learning it and we would trust it, not trust it, stop off somewhere, and it takes us a long time to get there. Or if you, like I said, you don't trust the map, you never get there. And so that is, so patience comes from, if you do the hard work of building that, right, then patience is easy because I'm already there mentally, like, and
Sure.
we can roll into like the feeling aspect of it. But if you've done that work, it makes patience a lot easy.
And one thing that you mentioned on your podcast is you got to master the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So to go from resistance to patience, I don't know. What do I do? Meditation, or what do you recommend?
Yeah. Meditation is good, right? So what meditation does is it eliminates all thoughts.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that we get to do, since we can think, is we get to put up blocks of resistance, or we can just allow. And so meditation just clears out all thoughts, which puts us in a state of allowing, which lets what we want to flow through us, which is deep, and I won't get into it. But let me give you like an objective trick that'll help you become more patient. So like, when I talk to some people about what their goals are, they'll say, my goal is to do X, Y, Z and have this amount of money. All right, but what does that mean to you? Well, it means security. It means freedom. It means satisfaction. It means I don't have to worry about money. It means I can do what I want to do whenever I want to do it. Okay, sit in that for a moment. Let's sit in that for a moment. Let's like close your eyes. Like, what does that feel like? Right? What does security feel like? What does satisfaction feel like? What does freedom feel like? Right? Imagine you got $100 million right now. Like, think from that state. How is life? What are you doing? Right? And what I'm doing is I'm allowing them to like embrace and feel the feeling now. And I'm like, you can own that feeling whenever you want. You don't need the money. Matter of fact, if you don't learn how to own that feeling now, the money becomes a hindrance, because when you have $100,000 and circumstances of life cause you to take a temporary step back, right? Maybe your 100 goes to 200,000, or maybe you whatever, lose a job or whatever. You don't have that far to fall.
Yeah.
But once you have $10 million and you have a temporary setback as life is taking one step back to go 2 steps forward, right? Your 10 million might go to 3. And if you don't learn to control your emotional state when you go down $3 million, right? That's how people go from 10 million to nothing, because what holds wealth in place is emotions, not the actual money. People go, oh, but what if I just take my money and put it all in cash? Inflation's gonna eat it up. Like I think the perceived thought is that people think Warren Buffett holds together $100 billion net worth with the money. No, he holds it down with his emotional state. Because if you feel the feeling of lack, which is the opposite of what my clients felt when they felt freedom, right? The feeling of lack is what you feel when you have no money. But as you get money, as things are happening around you that you cannot control, if you give into those feelings, your net worth is going to correspond to those feelings. And so like think of it like gravity, right? I mean, the power of the mind of the universe like holds the earth in orbit perfectly to the sun for like millions and millions of years, however long it's been around. I don't know how long it's been around.
A few million.
Yeah. And so like you're learning to master that feeling. So the feeling is actually the goal. And you can inhabit the feeling now regardless of the wealth. And then once you get to that state, the money becomes less important. But the reverse of it is once you get to that state, the money starts coming like quick.
So when you go from 10 million to 3 million, you start to panic and you go, oh my gosh, I need to sell, as opposed to everything's going on sale. You need to buy. And mastering the feeling of patience is going to get you through that dip in the roller coaster.
Absolutely, because you understand the power is not in the money. The power is in your ability to manage your emotional state in any circumstance.
Gotcha. If someone wanted to go to the Phillip Washington Jr. gas station and buy a roadmap of a financial roadmap,
I like that.
There you go, and get a little dose of the financial philosopher, how can they reach out to Phillip Washington Jr.?
Best way, go to stonehillwealthmanagement.com. That's stonehillwealthmanagement.com.
By the way, check this out for those who are watching right now live on Facebook. You get kind of the director's cut of the About Mansfield Consumer Advice series. That right behind me is the green screen. Right behind Phillip is his green screen. If you go over and check out the video on YouTube, you'll actually see the finished product, the produced product, with his logo in the background and the big gold background that we do. But today, and as we do every Friday, live on Facebook, you get the director's cut, and we appreciate you being here. Phillip, we do this every Friday, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Thanks, Steve.